with great power comes great responsibility. Just got back from watching Spider-Man Brand New Day. Not going to get into a whole lot of the plot points. It's not going to be a whole lot of spoilerage in here, what I'm about to say, but I just want to give my honest opinion and thoughts on the movie and where I think things are headed and why Spider-Man itself may not be headed in the best direction. And this is how I feel about it, right? This movie, of all the collective, I feel like the way it looked, the way it felt cinematically, theatrically, the feel of it, the tone of it, the fact that they used more practical effects when it came to the suits and less CGI, I thought made for a really good product that we were watching. And shout out to the director, Destin Daniel Cretton. So he also directed Shang-Chi, which for all intents and purposes was a really well put together movie as well. He didn't miss a step in the directorial aspect. This movie looked, it felt the best. The fighting, the hand, the scenes, the recreation of the comic book covers, the moments in this movie felt better than what I had seen before, even though it wasn't on that big of a scale. Like the one-on-one or one-on-three, etc. fighting scenes and choreography with Spider-Man was top tier. I loved watching it. Where this movie fell short for me was that there was a lot of lulls in it. There were a lot of just kind of like, they could have left that out. A lot of like the trying to rekindle and rebuild story with the MJ, the him kind of being in his feelings and in his thoughts about people not remembering Spider-Man thing. And I know that's what they want you to feel, but it didn't come across well to me. A lot of things just felt kind of like slow pace in spaces. What I did like was the introduction to Jean, the way that her powers were put forth and fleshed out in the movie, and the way you saw them kind of grow from what they began with to what they ended up being. Also, the plan and the plot of what she was doing, I thought was dope. To me, it being her looking for her sister was a little anticlimactic. I wish that would have been something bigger. I wish the reveal of VMAX would have been something bigger. We can just say that we know that there's going to be good things to come with Jean. Damage Control as the overarching villain was also kind of a letdown. Like, I like the characters. I like Metzger. I can't think of the name exactly, but I like how they put the twist on it. Like, they were a friendly situation, a collaborative situation, but really they're just studying everybody, getting ready for everybody. And then at the end, they're testing, trying to recreate mutants the way that they had the hand working for them. I think that that's going to be dope going forward, but I didn't like it for this movie. I didn't like that in the grand scheme, we think we're fighting Jean and Jean's chasing Damage Control and we're friends with Damage Control, so we help them catch Jean, and now everybody's against Damage Control, and the end of the movie is just the guy that was leading Damage Control being missing. I didn't like that. I did enjoy seeing the Punisher crossover and collaborate. I think he added a lot to the movie. And even though the Hulk wasn't in the movie a lot, I liked his addition and what he did to it. Black Widow, I think they went the comedic route more or less with her character in this. And I thought that was cool, but I would just really, like, I know they want to make things PG-13 and lighthearted and soft-hearted, but I think Marvel has to find the good middle ground with comedy and drama, because at the end of the day, like, we want to see heads get knocked. We want to see stuff get stepped on. We want to see stuff get smacked. So whenever you're looking at this person who's supposed to be one of the most elite killers in the world in this universe, we don't really want to see jokes. You know what I'm saying? But it is what it is. And I say we, I mean me. Let down by the post-credit scene. When Marvel and Sony made the agreement to start collaborating with what they're doing with Spider-Man, I think that they were in realistically the height of what the MCU was doing. So you see him introduced in Civil War, which was coming off of the heels of Winter Soldier, which is probably one of the best movies from the MCU. You have high expectations and they deliver. Spider-Man's introduction was dope. The Homecoming movie was dope. The way they introduce him, he's got Stark Tech in the suit. You see Iron Spider. You see elevated type of enemy. You see him learning and figuring it out. But you also see him in a lot of high stakes situations. When you see Far From Home and he's dealing with Mysterio, and Mysterio has Stark Tech, and it's an elaborate, it's a huge threat. He's also dealing with Nick Fury. Like it's a huge moment what he's accomplishing and what he's doing. It's a huge thing. No Way Home, where you bring in Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, and he's fighting multiversal big bads from all these different movies. It's huge ramifications. It's multiverses colliding and all the villains you ever seen converging on you, and Doctor Strange is setting spells that erase people's memories. The stakes were so high. So now that we're going into a space where he's the friendly neighborhood spider and the issues kind of only affect New York, and going forward, we're probably going to see more of him fighting ground level villains. I think it's going to be really hard for them to effectively captivate an audience without the stakes being what they've been. Like, I don't know how I get excited to go see a Spider-Man movie where he's fighting Tombstone and Scorpion or Rhino or Ramrod, or Vulture, if Vulture comes back, or if they do Shocker. Like, how excited can I get about him fighting Kingpin when he fought Thanos? I think that's something that they're gonna struggle with, if I'm being honest. Like, I mean, obviously, I think we're gonna see Spider-Man again in Secret Wars on Battle World. I don't know what that looks like. I want to spin back. I love the growing towards man Spider. I love the evolution of Tom Holland himself as Spider-Man. But I just think that them starting with the Iron Spider suit, it's like this movie should have been the first movie. If this movie was the first movie and then everything else played out the way it played out, I would feel totally different about how I felt. But this was the first Spider-Man movie I seen where I walked away and I was just kind of like, damn, can't wait till Doomsday comes out. Like, it's really just like it wasn't compelling to me at all. It looked good. It felt good. It was enjoyable, but it wasn't like Endgame. It wasn't Infinity Wars. It wasn't Winter Soldier. It wasn't No Way Home. It wasn't some of these Marvel movies that have been so good. It was like they did everything right, but the story was meh. I do look forward to seeing what they do with the X-Men. And I'm ready for Doom. Spider-Man out. With great power comes great responsibility.